3, 2, 1. That's better. That's a good clap. Alrighty. Down. It's all good. How's this doing? It's all good. Move you over. Just a touch. There we go. That's better. Okay. Cool. Hello. G'day. Welcome to 2022. Welcome to the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Why am I welcoming you? I don't know. But it is a new year. It's been a while since I did a New Year's vlog, mainly because the 2020 to 21 vlog I didn't do for a couple of reasons. Number one was that I would have said what everybody was going through. 2020 wasn't a great year. And I also got inundated with work, so I never got around to actually recording it. But I feel like if I did, I would basically be saying what everybody else is saying. But this year 2021 was a big year, not just in terms of the world, but for me personally. It was a massive year for me. I did a lot. I found out a lot about myself. I started to become a bit more active on YouTube and everything else, and I discovered the amazing world of drag, which has been phenomenal. So yeah, it's been a very interesting year for me. So let me break down how my year went. So January was alright. I had my birthday on the 13th. I turned 22 and I turned 23 this year, which is I'm getting old. And then February I had my elder sister's wedding. That was really cool, really fun. And that same month in February, I came out as gender fluid. I came out to my family and a few of my closest friends, and the support that I've had has been amazing, like really, really good. So I'm glad I've got a really strong support network in terms of that. And then March, from February to, I guess, yeah, also in February, I got another job. I got a different job. The place I was at before was really starting to take its toll on my mental health. So I'm glad I left when I did, and I didn't leave it too late. Otherwise, I don't know where I'd be. But it just goes to show, and I want to make this very clear. I know this is getting very sentimental right off the bat, but if you are in a job that you don't like, there is nothing wrong with leaving it and finding something else, because it will do your mental health wonders. And it really had for me. There was a point where I felt really depressed. I hated going to work. I was so relieved coming home from work. I would be counting down the hours until I'd finished. And that's not a healthy thing to have in a work relationship. It really isn't. So I left that job. I got a new one, working with an amazing boss, and I got to work alongside my other sister as well, which was really, really cool. And then March, I started to experiment a bit with like makeup, and I found out a lot about myself. Then April was pretty much the same. May was when things started to happen. May was about the same time. I think it was May, but it was around May and June that we went into lockdown here in Australia. New South Wales particularly. We started going into lockdown because we started having a rising case of COVID cases, rising numbers of COVID cases, and that sent the state into a lockdown for about 3.5 months. So that was fun. Actually, no, it might have been longer than that. I can't remember exactly when, but yeah, so. And then around the same time we went into lockdown, I started to upload regularly here on YouTube, which was awesome. We hit 200 videos in 6 years. Like, I know for some people that wouldn't seem like a lot, but considering what I've been doing in the last 6 years, to me that's a massive, massive achievement. So 200 videos I was super proud with, and we kept going. We finished a bunch of games, we started a bunch of new ones, we started going back to old school games, which is the whole reason that I started this channel, was to play old school games. I was fiddling around with newer games, and then I decided that no, my target is older games. My target is almost nostalgia, hence why, that's partly the reason why I named myself Mortal Phoenix, because you know, as a phoenix, you rise from the ashes, you start again. And breathing new life into some of these older games from like the PS2, the Xbox 360 was really, really nice. And especially the PS2 games, like some of those, the two games that I did do, Family Guy and Futurama, were two games that I used to play a lot of as a kid. And I've got a few other games. I do have a few in mind that I really, really want to do. But hopefully this year I can get to them. Hopefully this year I can be a bit more consistent in terms of uploading. Like I don't fall off the wagon kind of like I did towards the end of 2021. As we're recording this, I should say it is New Year's Eve. I wanted to record this now so that way I don't have to worry about recording it later, and that sort of, you know, drifts away from me again like it did last year. But yeah, and then around when was it? It would have been around September that I started fiddling with drag on my own, and just, you know, experimenting with clothes, with cosmetics. I didn't get properly into it because I wasn't sure if it was right for me. I have been watching RuPaul, and that's been really fun. So yeah, I started to dabble in drag and crossplay, and it's been really good. It's been refreshing, and it feels good to finally find something that I'm happy with, to find something that, you know, I get enjoyment out of. And I'm not saying I don't get enjoyment out of YouTube. I love doing YouTube so much, but it's interesting. Like it's an avenue I never thought of in my wildest dreams that I would actually like, because I never really saw drag and crossplay as something that would be fun. And this is just from a naive, like 12-year-old basically. I think, yeah, I was about 12 or 13 when I first got exposed to drag, and I kept denying it, and I was like, nah, that's silly, that's really stupid. But I feel like it's just how I was brought up in terms of the father figure that I had in my life, who was very anti-drag and was very, I wouldn't say homophobic, but he didn't exactly have, you know, the greatest things to say about, you know, people who are part of the LGBTQ community. So I think that's why I sort of denied it for a very long time, and now that I've embraced it, it's been amazing. It's been phenomenal. I have had a few family members be like, are you sure this is what you want to do? And be like, yeah, it's like, I'm still experimenting, and at the end of the day, it's no harm, no foul. I'm not doing any harm to anybody. I am trying to keep this to myself. But yeah, I know I'm posting it on social media. And then October, I was like, you know what, let's do it. I broke through my insecurities. I pushed past myself and decided to bite the bullet. I uploaded a video that I was very, very worried about, and I'm glad I did it, because the response to that was really, really good. Not just on YouTube, but also on Instagram. I posted the thumbnail on Insta, and everyone was like, no, it's great, like you're being yourself, and that's what we want to see. And I think part of the reason I was so insecure about it was because the internet is a very dangerous place. Like, it can be very supportive, but it can be very, very dangerous. So I think that's why I was so sensitive about putting up that video, about doing something like that. And I know I posted a story on Insta saying, you know, asking, would you guys be okay? And the resounding answer was, yeah, we would be. But I was still, part of me was still like, I don't know, it's a minefield whenever you go on the internet. But, you know, I follow a lot of drag queens on Insta, I follow a lot of trans people on Insta, and they've all just been like, fuck the haters, who cares? And I like that mentality. I think it's a good mentality to have. So that's something that I want to adopt next year. Well, this year, I should say. And yeah, and then I dabbled in drag. I started to, you know, dress up. It started off with the Hogwarts student. And I want to give, like, some of these characters names. Oh, excuse me. But it started off with the Hogwarts student, and then it went to the Anti-Phoenix, who still is yet to be named. That was a fun project. That was really fun. I did sort of push the timeline of it a little bit, because around the time that it was starting to ramp up, I had to go back to work, because we were coming out of lockdown, and that threw a bit of a spanner in the works. So I had to push the timeline as forward as I could without sort of breaking continuity. But all in all, it was a really fun project. The little teasers I put in, the end slates, the little like the little edits that I put in here and there. That was really fun, and I got excited because I started to, you know, muck around with binary. I think I did binary at one point. Binary, @bash ciphers, and decoding and all that, and it was really, really cool. And like the little teasers, the little flashes of the Anti-Phoenix icon, it was a really cool thing. And making the costume for that was really cool as well, and getting all that together was actually really fun. It was one of the few times that I had like euphoria every time I did something like it. It was so much fun. The contacts were a pain in the ass. I never want to do it again. The contacts were really painful because I'm not used to it, and you know, trying to get those contacts in was really hard. So the first time I did it was during the Outlast Doki Doki videos. So I did Outlast first, and then I continued on with Doki Doki, so there was a bit of a timeline thing. But when I tried to do it for the actual shoot, it was really hard to put in, and I was fiddling around with it for so long, and then I got it in, it was starting to irritate as well, so I was like, I need to take it out, and I couldn't take it out. Eventually the irritation went away, which I regret. I should have taken it out, or tried to take it out almost immediately. But yeah, eventually the irritation went away. It's still, like, it was this eye in particular, but I couldn't get the other one in, so I'm like, what if we had the hairline go across the eye so you couldn't see it? Which was a clever way to hide it. But I had a lot of help from one of my friends. She was amazing. She gave me some great advice about the coloring, about the design of the costume, about the placement of the rhinestones and all that. So that was really, really cool. And then November rolled around. We did the Memento Mori part in honor of Unasanis. And that to me was a big deal for 2020. That was a big part of my life, and a big part of everybody's lives. So yeah, it was a hell of a year. And then December didn't really do much. I wanted to do something for December's shoot, and I wanted to do something every month now that I discovered drag. But I never got around to December's shoot because the outfit never arrived. It did on the 27th, which I'm really bummed about, but that's life. Yeah, it's been one hell of a year. I'm looking back on it. Oh, actually, so this is what I wanted to do for December, but it never came in time, and now that it's here, it doesn't fit. So I'm using that to make alterations, and because I haven't done any sewing in years, so I'm using that as like a base, and hopefully it comes out really well. I'm starting to get ideas flowing in my head. Next year is gonna, this year, I keep saying next year, it's gonna take a bit of getting used to. Happens every year. But this year, I want to do something regularly. I want to try and do my own thing. So this year is going to be a bigger year for me as well. So like, I want to be more consistent on YouTube. I plan to move to my own place this year. And you know, just experiment more with drag, and you know, have fun making content, and do a lot of cosplay gaming, you know, like dressing up as a character. Like, I've got a bunch of games here ready to go. The only issue is some of them I want to do cosplay, I want to do cross or cos with, but I can't do it because it costs an arm and a leg and a firstborn child. So I've got games here ready to go. I don't have many videos set, but you know, hopefully come, you know, mid-January, I'll be able to get something a bit more consistent. So I am going to keep this going. I do want to keep this going. It has been a lot of fun to do, and you know, seeing the audience grow with me, and you know, be as supportive as you guys have been, has been very, very refreshing. It's been very nice to see, and it's been great. And yeah, it's been a crazy 2021, but hopefully the worst is behind us and we can move on to a bright and prosperous 2022. It's it all depends. But I am hoping that this year will be better than the last 2 years that we've had. I have my fingers crossed. If not for like, I would like it to be better for myself in terms of what I plan to do, what I want to do, and just everything else that's been going on. But in terms of the world and everything that's been going on over the last 2 years, I feel like the worst is behind us. I really, really do. And I know we've got this new variant floating around, but it's not as bad as people think. It's nothing to be worried about. It is bizarre. It is scary actually to think about, but you know, putting this in perspective, it's not as bad as we once thought. I mean, majority of us are vaccinated. At least I'd like to think so. So, you know, yeah, we still get it, but it would feel as bad as a cold, and we get over it within a couple of days. But, you know, just on that note, stay safe. Stay, you know, don't do anything stupid. In all honesty, and I hope your New Year's was good. If you've got resolutions, do your best to stick to them. My resolution is to focus on me, become my own person, and look after my health, both physically and mentally. And I know the health one's a bit of a cliche, but I did realize that I really let myself go this year. Well, last year. Goddamn. Yeah, I did. I really let myself go, and that's partly in reason to the fact that, you know, we had lockdown, so that happens. But I'm not too worried. I do want to focus on my mental health mainly. I'm in a good spot, but I know it can be better. So hopefully this year, hopefully 2022 can bring out the best in everybody, and you know, we don't have as many nightmares as we did in 21. So that would be nice. It would be good to see, and we'll just go from there. So I will leave this rant and rave on this note. I do wish everybody a very prosperous 2022. I wish you all the very best for the new year. And like I said, if you have resolutions, do your best to stick to them. You know, set up mini goals. Like, one thing I will say is, if you have a goal, set up mini goals for that instead. If your goal is to be healthy in 2022, don't set it up for the whole year. Set it up, you know, month by month and then week by week. That is more achievable than setting up a 12-month goal. You know, that's what I find anyway. But yeah, I'm going to leave this here. I hope you had a very happy, prosperous Christmas and a very amazing New Year. Do your best to stick to your goals, set up the mini goals to make things a bit easier for yourself, and enjoy life while we still can, because I'm sure that I know for a fact that the worst is behind us. 2022 is going to be people's year to do what they want, and if you're watching this, then stick to your goals, keep to yourself, as in, like, keep true to yourself, and be as you as you can possibly be. Don't try and be someone you're not. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Happy New Year, enjoy 2022, and I will see you in the next video. Don't know when, but it should be soon. See yous.